Your time is now to become a champion of your real estate brand. Are you ready? Welcome to the stage. It's your moment to shine. Level up your game. Success is on the line. Okay. Your time is now to become a champion of your real estate brand. Are you ready? Let's go. The Champions Podcast starts now.
Yeah, I had all those things. It started raining. I forgot my water. I was by myself. I forgot my headphones as well. So I don't know. Yeah, but I didn't. Good.
No, I love that you persevered, man. But I think when you were talking about discipline and leadership, and Birgit, you mentioned some of those things, those low moments. I think that's great to talk to about with people. Discipline, when you say that to me, it gets me thinking, how do I get into the gym? It's not even real estate related. It's like I need to work
Yeah,
out. We're all getting older, right? Every day we all get older. But over time, your body becomes maybe weaker or whatever if you don't take care of it, just like anything else. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I love that pushing yourself to do that. And that's something that I fail with is like, I've got a gym literally in my house. We've got weights, we've got a treadmill, we've got a pull up bar, we've got a pretty solid gym. I don't
yeah,
go. I don't go. I don't have a motivation to go. And and it's funny because my wife says if you're in a foul mood or whatever, of course, change the energy, but you're never in a bad mood after a workout. You're never upset that you just worked out. Never. And I'm like, man, it's so true, right? And it's that because you could be in a foul mood going in, and by the time you're just like, all right, I put the work in, I pushed, and I did this, I ran, whatever, and you're like, all right, feel good. That felt good. So it's how do you use that in your business to say, man, I got to push. And this is kind of where my mind's at right now with it. I need to get into the gym and I need to work out. I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want to stay healthy, live longer, all that stuff. So I have to figure out that time management piece to give myself an hour a day. And I know it's easier said than done. And again, it's me. It's a lot of me. But how does that translate into real estate? Because when I'm in the gym, I got to work hard. I'm older. I'm almost 50. So I got to stretch for 20 minutes because I hurt my arm in the summer and it hurts to do that. So I need to really loosen it up before and after. And if I do the right things and I take it easy at the beginning and build the form, build the basics, and then I could grow in 6 months, in 12 months, in 18 months, I'll have good results, just like real estate, right? Real estate, you're not going to have results today. You may, but you doubtful. It takes that time. And you got to put in the hard work every day. And you got to show up at the office, just like I'm telling myself, I got to show up at the gym. You got to show up at the office. You got to either do your calls, you got to make connections, you got to have conversations about real estate to progress your real estate business. And I don't care what it looks like, if it's calls, if it's videos, if it's open houses, whatever you're doing, you got to have those conversations. Bottom line. So, love the topic, Ian. So I'd love to hear from you too, brother. Birgit, I know you've got words of wisdom. Let me hear it, you guys.
So how it plays into real estate, I think it comes down to a personal excellence in general. So everything that you do everywhere all comes down to the standard that you hold yourself to every single day. So I can't remember if it was last time or whenever it was. I know I spoke about it at some point. I changed my whole way of operating and I live now on a 24-hour to 24-hour basis. The goal is every single day I need to win the day. How? And that is by reaching or completing specific goals or tasks, objectives, whatever you want to call it, every day that push towards my long-term goals. But to win the day, I need to do all of them. And they include family stuff, family or community goals, or however you want to do it. That includes health and fitness. That includes personal development. And then I have two business ones because I kind of focus. One side is like agent attraction, and the other side is like production. So I have two business. The only way I can win the day is if I achieve each of those goals every single day to a high standard. So how does it play into real estate? I will not win the day and I will not build on this personal excellence if I do not do my health and fitness goal for that day. And if I don't do that, it's just going to flow over into everything else that I do. Just like if you're in a bad mood with your spouse or a co-worker or whatever else, it kind of flows over into your family and into work and into everything else. It's the same on the flip side. When you're really good at one thing, let's just say fitness, like you did go to the gym, like yeah, you never feel bad after a workout. Well, if you go to work after your workout, you'll probably have a better day than if you were just woke up in a bad mood and went straight to work. So that's how it all plays in together. It all ties in together because everything is all about personal excellence. And if you can do that, it rubs off on other people, it can rub off in your community, and I think it can change everything for everyone. Like you could literally start with your household, and then it could change your neighborhood, and it could change your up to countries. The whole country could be changed by just every single individual working on their own personal excellence. But they have to do those 5 things every single day. If not, it doesn't work. So that's how I think it plays into real estate. The same way it plays into health and fitness, personal development, family goals, and the other business goals that we have. So that's my take on it. And that's where I'm super hyper disciplined right now in these last month or so. It's just working on that 24 hours to 24 hours. I don't go to sleep unless I win the day. And that's it. Sounds fairly simple.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fairly simple. Yet why is it so hard to do? That's pretty awesome, by the way. Totally solid in what you just said. And what is it about motivation? Motivation without accountability. So often we end up doing a thing that keeps us comfortable because let's remember our brain doesn't like to expend calories on doing something that it doesn't
Yeah.
really want to do, or it doesn't know the outcome, or it may hurt temporarily. So that's why it's so much easier in our own head. Why does accountability work? Well, if somebody were in your gym, Jason, and they would be waiting for you at 3 p.m. and you would probably show up, right? There's this
Yeah.
accountability. So this is the same kind of an idea because now we have the social component and we don't want to let somebody else down. So now we add a social component, that human-human interaction. And so that's what we also have to be mindful. So when I think in business or in fitness or in life, is if I'm trying to get something in motion, I'm trying to change my life or do something different, I always come also to it from what could get in the way. What could get in the way? I want to make these phone calls during those time. What could get in the way? And preemptively head off what could be getting in the way. That is a great forward-moving way of addressing some of the things, whether they're here, internal or external, obstacles that might be getting in the way from you accomplishing your personal level of excellence so you can win the day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So we're actually in the driver's seat and we're not just the passenger in this car that's going down the road.
Yeah, 100%. And what's really cool as well, you touched on the accountability piece, which is huge because anybody could have their tasks that they have to do every single day to win the day. Anybody could just mark it off like, oh well, I kind of did it, but not really did it kind of thing. So I'll just mark it off anyway and just say
Hmm.
that I've won the day.
Cut the
Nobody
corners.
cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody cares. This is just you against you every single
Yeah.
day. And if
Yeah.
you lie, you're just lying to yourself. And
Yeah.
if you're lying to yourself, then your reason for being obviously just is not strong enough that
Mhm.
you're okay just to cut corners and cheat.
Agreed.
So there's something else that you're not clear on because you're not motivated enough to actually think, oh, I didn't do this. I have to take the loss. I'll just take the loss and learn from it. People would rather just cross it off and say, yeah, I won the day. I'm on like a 30-day win streak because I'm the best. You could be telling the truth, you might not be. At the end of the day, you're the only person that's going to know that, and it's just you against you. So
That's
accountability is huge. I think that's a
it's
really,
huge.
really important point.
I agree, and my mind went right there too when Coach B said that. I think that accountability. So let me ask you guys this, and let's tie it into real estate. And I want to do a quick story. You guys know Steve Q. We've had him on the podcast as well. Great guy. He and I hold each other accountable for our recruiting calls, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And I've gotten way more serious since he and I have done it because it's just like you said, coach. Hey, somebody's going to be there at that time. I need to show up and I need to do the work because he's watching me and I'm watching him, right? And it's that. So it worked. So my question, how does somebody who's listening and watching this, how do they find an accountability partner? How do they make that connection to say, I need one. And what does that look like? How do they find that person?
Coach.
Yeah, well, I think there's very, very many different ways. So if you're in real estate, you can ask around your team, do we have anybody in team that's experiencing the same problem? We want to make an accountability group. Back when I was at, I want to say, Keller Williams, doesn't matter, but we did like call hours. And somebody brought in pizza and whatnot. We all got together in one big giant room. We started making phone calls. It was super fun. It was a lot of energy. We all kind of were able to laugh over dumb things that we said or whatnot, but it was super fun. So you can build a community with that. All you have to do is reach out and allow yourself to be seen as somewhat vulnerable. Say, gosh, I'm having a hard time doing that. Exactly. Vulnerability is a hard thing because now it's exposing us again, and we are possibly opening ourselves up to that whole rejection piece that is so tricky for us as human. Um,
Vulnerability is huge, and
mhm.
and and that could be a whole nother conversation because you have to let go.
Yes.
If I'm trying to get help, if I'm trying to, yeah, be better in business, work out, whatever, I have to tell, hey, Birgit, what I'm not doing very good at making my calls. How are you doing at making yours? Or whatever the conversation is, whatever's bothering you, you have to not worry about that outcome. No
Mhm.
matter what they're not going to think anything of you, but you just have to be comfortable saying, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody who's that is in the same boat as me." Maybe it's not you, Birgit. Maybe it's not you, Ian, but somebody that's kind of
Yeah.
struggling like I am. Oh, what Sally over here? She's doing the same thing. And I love you, and it really doesn't matter what brokerage. If your brokerage has an office and you're not attending those meetings, get to those meetings. If you're in a cloud-based brokerage and you're not plugging into the masterminds and things like that, plug in and get to know these people and message them and communicate. Do a video call with them. So you've got to think outside the box, whether you have a brick and mortar building or your cloud. Think, hey, how do I connect with these guys? And it is up to you. It's your life. It's your business.
It's only up to you, really. That's
Yeah,
the crux and the beauty of sales. It's only up to you. So you get to make everything happen for yourself, but you also have to make everything happen for yourself. And that's usually a bit of the disconnect that we see because it gets back down to I have to motivate myself in order to do this in some sort of way of fashion. But yeah, accountability is huge, whether you make it known amongst your friends or family that you're doing X, whether you make it known amongst your team, find somebody amongst your team, reach out to your team leader, whomever, and put an accountability group together. Whether you hire somebody such as myself or other coach to help you actually strategically hold you accountable. So there's all kinds of different levels and tiers, but you don't have to do it alone. All you have to do though is reach out to somebody.
yeah.
Hire Coach B.
Okay, fine. Hi.
Fine,
I
fine.
even give you a choice. So I always ask my clients, it's like, what kind of accountability do you need? That's number one, we ask. Number two is, so accountability can look, I check in with you or they check in with me. Sometimes people would love checking in and they know I'm waiting. If we say, okay, I'm going to check in on Monday by
That's
5
great.
o'clock in the afternoon, I'll check in
Yeah,
with you. 7 o'clock Monday night, I'm like, hey, what happened to you? So it never really
Mhm.
happens, but they check in with me because they just love to say, hey, I got this accomplished. So,
yeah,
and so it makes it awesome because we get to celebrate them and help them win the day.
yeah,
Love it.
yeah, exactly. There's kind of three things that I'm thinking of right now, and when it comes to accountability and where to find it and whatever else. So first of all, yeah, we're in real estate. So, and I maybe if you're listening to this, you're a solo agent and you're literally on your own by yourself. But I'm gonna bet that the majority are in a brokerage. And if you post in one of your group chats, wherever you are, I want to do this because I'm falling behind on sales. I know my weakness is this. Does anybody else want to join me and hold each other accountable? I'm
Mhm.
guaranteed somebody's going to get back to you because you're never ever alone in these kind of things.
Yeah.
The only thing is, people just don't talk about it openly. We go back to that vulnerability piece. People
Yeah.
don't
No,
talk
that's
about it
good.
all the time. It takes one person to start it, and then who knows? You could have like an accountability group, and then your broker starts this new weekly meeting accountability thing just because you had the idea to try it one time because you want to help yourself. So
Mhm.
Absolutely. If you don't
that's
have a
the
new
that's the
brokerage created within your brokerage, that's why we
Yeah.
have such a high dropout rate within real estate, and especially in those first 2 years,
oh
because
yeah,
that bridge from how I used to do life, professional life, to how I need to do a sales job, and that's what we're in, a sales job. is it's sometimes light years differentiator and or the difference and people can't get over that bridge. So if you need something from your office is not available, create it.
Yeah, you can
Real
definitely
estate is
create
about
it. Yeah,
being proactive. Real estate is about being squeaky wheel. So the perfect time to exercise that.
definitely, definitely. The other piece I was going to touch on is social media. You can post what you're going to do and then post about it daily as you do it. Whether you have a large following or not, I think that you subconsciously know that you've put it out there into the world. And if you don't do it, people are going to see you differently. Like, oh, look, that person's not doing this anymore. They failed. So you carry on. So social media is a great tool. If you are alone and you're somehow not surrounded by anyone at all, then just use social media. You can use social media. A lot of these challenges or accountability things get created into social media challenges, and it works. It can work. So I think no matter where you are or how you're doing things, you can definitely find a way to do accountability. And another thing, and this is pretty cool, I do this, journal. Every single day, just take 10 minutes, think about what you did today, write down a win that you had, whether it's big or small. Write down, maybe we're going on like the discipline piece. Talk about how you use discipline at any point of the day to get through something and just kind of get used to the fact of taking action which creates rewards at the end of the day, no matter how big or small they are. That'll hold you accountable. At the end of every single day, if you just kind of get into the habit of doing it, it'll hold you accountable because there will be a day where you're like, oh, nothing's happening, but I want to write down about my win later today because it's a habit you've now created. So now you create a win for yourself somehow and you're holding yourself accountable to do it. So,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
jump right in there into that journaling. Let's do journaling on steroids. And how do we do that? Is I in the evening sit down, you write down three things. What went well today? One, two, three. The part that puts it on steroids is we go in there and it's because who did I become, right? So we're anchoring the habit and identify and link it to your identity because every time I do something different or do anything, I have to become a certain version of myself. So if I want to make 10 phone
mhm.
calls today, and then who do I need to become? So in the
Yeah,
evening, when I say, hey, I made my 10 phone calls, like who did I become? Now we're anchoring something to identity, and now we're making it something that's transformative and not something that's just like, well, it was awesome today. No, who did I become? Somebody
yeah,
that follows through, somebody that lives a life of excellence, somebody that values commitments, so on, so on.
yeah, yeah. You do that every single day. I mean,
You're
it's
going to
all,
Very
identify
strong.
differently if you do it every single day.
it's
Hmm.
inevitable that
Yep.
you just become better in everything that you do. Yeah, definitely. So no matter where you are, holding yourself accountable to stay disciplined within your real estate business, it's achievable. It just depends on you and how you want to do it.
And make
Yeah.
your bed in the morning. I don't know who said it, make your bed.
Yeah, I love that one. That actually, as stupid as it sounds, I swear that that changed my life.
Absolutely. I still do it to
It
this
did.
day. It's like I have to make my bed
Yeah,
in the morning. That's how I roll out of my bed. It's like
yeah,
have to.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That and then Jordan Peterson keeping your house in order and this and that. Yeah, definitely. It changed. That's where it starts. And little stupid things like that just snowball into everything else.
I
It,
could
did
always
Jordan
tell. Yeah, go ahead.
did did Jordan Peterson have kids?
Yeah, he's got a daughter. Yeah,
Oh, just one though.
yeah,
Yeah, one
yeah.
doesn't.
Not three little girls.
That's like I love the organization, but that's always my caveat. I'm like, well, how many kids do you have? Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me share something. If you grew up in my household, my mom, so we were four kids. It always looked like there was not one kid in the house. But that's
really.
a whole nother level. That is, yeah.
Right,
So what I'm
right.
saying, they can be done, not that it's necessarily healthy or the way that you want to or need to do life, but
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It where there's a will, there's a way.
yeah.
It
Exactly.
is. It's funny because it just as we live it with the kids, Birgit, you've been there.
Ah,
It's just yeah, it's just like there's no organization. It's you're pulling your hair out. So making the bed A plus, yeah, the rest of the house, it's a constant work.
that is that little piece of control you can have, and I'd always
Yes.
spend more time with the kids than worrying about what's tidy and what's more important.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So what about you, Jason? So you talk about like maybe working out a little bit more. You mean need more discipline
Yeah, how are we gonna get Jason in the gym?
on
That's
that side of things. Like what do you think it takes for you to get there?
I don't know. I ask myself that every day. It's just, I mean, I've thought of this for 30 years I've been wanting to work out. And like I tell my wife, my good buddy Jason Miller, I went to his wedding 20, 25 years ago, whatever it was now. And in the picture, I was working out constantly, and like I'm a little bit bigger and all this stuff, and you see it in my face and my appearance. That was like the most I was consecutively working out. I woke up, I did it, and I went there. It's probably just prioritizing. It's one of those where I don't prioritize it. I think that's really what it comes down to.
It was 2 years ago, almost to the date, that we set each other the challenge of doing physical activity of some type to just help ourselves get motivated and
Yep.
come out of this slump that we were kind of both in. And you were like, okay, let's do, like, it was a 30-day challenge we decided to do. You were going to work out every day or X amount
Yeah.
a week. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly how we
Yeah.
started it. And I decided I was going to start running. And that's where it was. And we were just talking about how I got a personal record in the half marathon that I did that I have every excuse not to do last week or the week before.
Hold on just a second. Personal record, okay? I just want everybody to hear that. Personal record.
Yeah, I
That
got it.
is
I got
awesome.
it. But it all started basically because of you, because it started because you kind of you've always had that idea of wanting to get into shape or just be consistent with your working out like you did 25 years ago before Jason's wedding or whatever. So it's really interesting. I know you did the challenge for 30 for a month.
Hmm.
Maybe it was a not a 30-day thing, but like a 4 week thing that we did.
Yeah.
I know you did it then, and then maybe you stopped afterwards because there was no other goal in mind, maybe. So maybe that's just what it is. It's a lack of
Well, maybe the
knowing
entry
what.
point is too high. Maybe your entry point is too high, meaning your
Yeah,
entry point is I have to do it every day for an hour and a half. If I don't, then forget it. So what if you were to adjust your goal? It's okay. What if I just get in there like once a week? How would that feel for change? And
yeah,
so kind of bring that to BJ Fox that make the goal bite size and make it much smaller so it actually becomes something doable. When we're
yeah.
wanting to do something, we're not doing it. That's usually one of the components. It's just the goal is too big.
And
And
that's
anyone,
good. I think for me, I understand, especially when you talk about a workout once a week isn't going to do anything. Bear with me. As you push 50, it takes longer to build muscle. It takes longer to do all that stuff. So if I'm only doing it once a week, yeah, I'm potentially creating a habit, but for me mentally, I don't think that's enough for me. I
But then
have to,
that's the thing, because that's a thought. Because how true is that? It is you're starting something on a much smaller scale, and you're giving yourself evidence that you can actually do it, which then turns into perhaps I want to do it twice a week or 3 times a week. And right, so you kind of build, it's like a stair stepping into success versus I'm not doing anything.
yeah,
I hear you. I smile because my head doesn't think like that. I get what you're saying because I look at it as, hey, I'm working out 1 day a week. I'm losing because it's not the majority.
And that, my
right,
friends, is fixed mindset versus growth mindset, right?
right.
Growth mindset says,
Okay.
what if I did? Because you certainly can, and it will still have some sort of an impact. And then you start building it from there. By the way, that is universal to a lot of things we're doing, whether that is working out or doing our real estate activity. So perfect segue back into the real estate. It's, oh well, I couldn't do anything for the last 2 days. I guess I'm done. I might as well not do anything because I'm not going to be able to
Right.
reach what I wanted for this week. No, go do it anyways because it just
Exactly.
gives you that evidence right away that you can actually do what you said you're going to do.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I was going to mention before. Anyone listening is the idea of this conversation is that you can implement this into anything. We're talking about working out,
Mhm.
but we're in real estate, so the same thing goes for the calls that you have to make, the follow-ups that you have to make, the number of listings that you want every week, or listing appointments that you want every week, or whatever it is, contract signed. So
Or
it's the
what is
same principle.
doable? What is doable? Maybe it's not the whole thing is doable today, but perhaps after every single call,
Exactly.
I can toss in 15 squats or something like that. Does it seem small and insignificant? Maybe, but does it compound over a week? After every phone call, I throw in 15 squats. I would say so, and I am happy to argue that with anybody who wants to disagree because there's definitely some evidence about the compounding effects. So don't forget about the compounding effects, Jason.
I like it.
That's true.
No, that's valid too. And I like what both of you have said. I think going back to what Ian was talking about when we did that, maybe it's that accountability piece, just like where I mentioned Steve earlier, that hey, I'm not going to let him
Yeah.
down. I'm not going to let Ian down. So maybe that is a big key component of the way I work, which
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
very well could be. So that's what that got me thinking when you said that too, and I was like, it's
That's a
good.
good
And
point.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and Birgit, I hear what you're saying, and I like that you put that a fixed mindset piece in there because that's versus growth mindset because that's I'm like, oh man, that's a burn on me. Like, but it's true, and it's just like, but it's that stuff that it helps me think a little bit more thorough through things, and yeah, it's
it's like,
good.
is it true or is it truth, right? Some things feel so true to us, but it actually factually truth.
Yeah.
So that's always one to look at. It's like actually is it truth? And if we want to grow, then we have to at least keep a little bit of that door open and say, well, maybe I could look at it in a slightly modified version. And perhaps you need to charge yourself for your home gym like $200 a month or something like that.
I write it off in Texas.
Put in a vacation fund or something like that. I find it that when we pay for something, we'll also apt more to use it. I don't know how it is for you guys, but well, gym membership, I always use a gym membership. Like yeah, I don't ever not go if I pay for it.
That I
No.
agree. That theory does not apply with apps, though. You could have Netflix and Disney and Hulu and all that stuff, and you won't watch any of them. So that's the only time that theory doesn't work.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just keep buying more apps and buying more apps, and yeah, you're like, ah, this. Then yeah, then they get lost in
Nothing's
transit.
ever on. Nothing's ever on.
Nothing's ever on, but it is when you're trying to really build yourself and become better. It is you're going to invest in yourself, is what you're saying, and that's a huge piece. Invest in you, and I like that. Even if it's $50 to for the gym, that yeah, you shoot it into a vacation account or whatever. That's a good different way to look at it to say, hey, I'm paying for this. Let's go.
Yeah. So keep whether it's real estate or again real estate in the life in real estate, whatever that if we're looking for whatever kind of motivates us, keep playing with what is an idea that motivates. Is modification motivating enough for me to go do something, meaning adjusting the goal, or is it an external motivator such as, well, maybe I need to put money on this. And if I reach the top of the jar, we can treat ourselves as a family, do something nice, and I get a health benefit. So that open-mindedness to just stay open to how can I get that actually accomplished? Because it is on the radar. And if it's on the radar, we're investing energy towards thinking about it. If we're investing energy towards thinking about it, then what else could we have used that energy to think about if this one over here was taken care of, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So get it off your plate so you can open up space to think about other things that are more important to you.
Yeah. That's a
Love
lot
it.
to think about there. Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna go work
Mm.
out and think about it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a good idea.
I know your address, Jason. No.
Ian, wrap us up,
You
brother.
could use the kids. You could use the kids. I used the kids the other day for keeping me on track with my daily tasks because one of my daily tasks, as I mentioned, was always family orientated.
Ooh, family workouts. That would be kind of fun.
Oh, it could be family workouts, but I have specific goals for my family, my kids,
Yes.
wife. So how can I do a daily task which pushes me towards that goal that I have with my kids? And a lot of what I want to do with them is teaching responsibility and discipline. Because if I do it now, then they'll be better off later on. They don't understand that at the moment. They're only little, but it's just the daily habits of getting into it. And the thing was that they got to a point where they would come up to me. Elisa would come up to me. She's 6. She'd be like, okay, so what's my task for today? Kind of thing. But I'll tell her what her task was, and then maybe later on she'd be like, "Did you do your tasks?" And I'm like, oh damn. I'm like, yeah, obviously. And then I run off and finish my tasks real quick because I haven't done them. So you could
Good
use your
for
kids.
her.
You could use your kids like, hey, every week that I don't work out twice or 3 times a week, I'm going to give you $5 or $10. So every
Yeah.
Sunday, your kid's going to come up to you like, is it pay up time or have you done what you were supposed to do? I don't know. You could
We don't
exploit
want to
them a
let
little
down,
bit.
and we don't want to let down the kids,
That's
Like,
it.
come on, you're the hero, and you're the dad. You're the dad, Jason.
Yeah. No, that's I
So
love all
yeah,
that stuff. Good stuff.
so to finish up, it's find your why, find ways that can help you win daily, and just live that way every single day, and you'll be great. Have people hold you accountable, find ways to find yourself accountable. And I think with those three things every single day, literally, it's inevitable that you just become better at everything that you do eventually. So obviously, if you need help, reach out to us. This is what Coach B does, as we mentioned before in the podcast. So please feel free to reach out. You'll have contact details somewhere here in below or above or wherever it is. Yeah, be disciplined, be great, be excellent personally, and things will always just go up from there long term.
Love it.
Bye.
Well said.
You should just ask, just stay. Just ask, just stay. You should just ask, just stay. Just ask, just stay. You should just ask, just stay.